We have such a great time here reading old wrestling magazines. Sparkling Steve Miles, rugged Ryan Young over there, and we hear from people all over the world. United States, Canada, UK, Australia, Germany, France. It's pretty amazing.
It is sweet.
And
I got to tell you, I'm really
the fact that we can be here, you're really what?
You're
already exhausted. You're already losing your steam. We haven't even got started. You're already losing your steam.
I'm really out of it today.
Great.
It's really rough today.
That's a
I
good
gotta
start.
tell you, I never like to do this. I never like to be unprofessional. You know, I consider myself a professional.
Yeah, if nothing else.
I'm just so unbelievably hungover. It's ridiculous. I feel like I'm going to be sick. But
What happened?
I knew that we were scheduled to do this. I never like to cancel an appointment.
Well,
but I like being honest on this program. If I'm not honest on any of the other ones, that we're just going to have to. I hope you got something good for me.
What happened? What happened?
Well, last night I decided that I was going to go gambling, and I wasn't going to do a whole lot. I wasn't really going to do a whole lot, but I ended up getting pretty deep, and
What were you betting on?
I was playing some roulette, playing some slots. I was kind of all over the place last night. I was kind of just having one of those nights where I didn't care, and took a big loss.
And what do you want me to do?
And then I don't want you to. That's why I showed up for this. Hopefully you'll sign that check. But nevertheless, I mean, there's more money coming in, but that's not the issue. After it happened, I just started putting away Long Island iced teas. I don't know what's in a Long Island iced tea.
I thought you were a Mai Tai drinker.
I thought I do. You're right about that, and I should have stuck with the Mai Tais maybe. But the Long Island iced teas, I thought it sounded kind of nice. I'll chill and relax with a Long Island iced tea. Well, I drank 6 or 7 of them, and my buddies were telling me that I blacked out at the bar and I fell around in front of cops, the security guards, and I'm barfing in the. I don't remember hardly any of it. But anyway, I had the alarm set because I knew I had to be here. If I didn't have the alarm set, there's no way I'd be here.
Well, maybe we should do this another time if you're not up for it.
No. I need the check.
Well, because
we're going to have a good time with this, I hope.
I reach into a vat of old magazines and I don't know what it's going to be. And I was happy today. I like this cover. This cover I love. This has a lot of things on it, just this cover that I'm excited about. It's got a year and a month that's one of my favorite in wrestling. The picture is really unique. Are you going to make it? Are you all right?
Dude, I'm trying.
It says there's a Shop Zone new merchandise catalog in here. So I'm pretty excited about this one. WWF Magazine from December of 1997. Steve Austin's on the front, Owen season. And he's got Owen Hart's head on the wall with the deer heads.
I love this cover.
Isn't that something?
This cover is insane.
Isn't that great?
Oh, wow.
And December of 97 is one of my favorite times. I remember December of 97, just Raw, Nitro, ECW. I was watching everything, and everything was good.
For sure.
Yeah. Now, when you hear Owen season, what does that mean to you?
Around this time, look at Steve Austin's eyes. I mean, it means everything to me. I mean, and what a good character to get after.
Yeah. Now, we should mention here, Steve Austin's a little bit of a style icon for you. You always like kind of a t-shirt, the shaved head, and the goatee, and that you can trace that back to Steve Austin, right?
It's a good look. I even used that look back when I had hair. Mm-hmm. So
wow.
And then I had hair for a long time and resorted back to it when I lost my hair.
It's an homage to Steve Austin, we can say.
It's a good look, and I like Steve. I can't do the earring, though. I thought about doing the earring. I was close to it at one point.
Well, there's still time.
No, I'm not feeling the earring. I feel it. I liked it more when I was younger, the idea of it.
Stop the gambling and save up a little bit, and then you can get your ear pierced. Get a nice diamond stud, and I'm not talking about Scott Hall. Get a nice diamond stud in the ear.
We got to do more of these wrestling magazines so I can get the money in the back in the bank. This is unbelievable what happened to me last night.
Simply ravishing. Take a look at the real man then and now. You know what's funny about this? By the time December 1997 comes around, he's on WCW.
Oh, by the time they said this was coming out? Yeah.
Because he left after the Montreal screw job.
So what's the deal with something like that? Is that like Rick Rude working without a contract?
What I always thought was Rick Rude was on like a per night basis. In ECW, he was doing some managing and he was doing some commentating, and he was also a part of the original DX.
I remember.
But then the Montreal Screwjob, he didn't like the way that was handled, so he went to WCW.
Yeah.
So, one of those guys, kind of like Brian Pillman, who at one time was at all three. If you take a snapshot, it's like Brian Pillman was like WCW, WWF, ECW all at once.
Yeah.
Rick Rude was kind of the same way. It's kind of neat. You'll never see that again.
I wonder why he would be so upset about Bret Hart. Was he friends with Bret Hart?
I think he was friends with Bret Hart, and just the way that was handled, lying to your champion, I think it kind of rubbed him the wrong way, maybe.
I don't know if he was in a position to get rubbed the wrong way too hard.
No, he's simply ravishing.
Yeah.
You want to make a guess of who that baby is?
I'm going to say Mr. Perfect.
Brian Christopher.
I'll take a shot.
Were you just going just on the picture, or did you read some of the hints?
Oh, I didn't read the hints.
Okay.
I knew there was hints.
Mm-hmm. How much did you lose last night? Want to talk about it?
I'm in the bar.
Well, let's see here. Triple H around this time is hanging around with Shawn Michaels and D-Generation X.
Yeah.
And
but he's still got
the King of the Ring. He's the King of the Ring.
He's still got that robe on. That robe to me, it like
he's got the robe and he's got the Hunter Hearst Helmsley music. That's kind of the opera music that he kept for a while.
That music and that outfit equal nobody interested.
That's not Triple H. That's Hunter Hearst Helmsley.
It sure is.
Yeah. Well, he figured it out somehow.
It took a while.
It took a while. Sometimes you got to play the long game.
Another one.
You know what Jewel always says? Strong wood grows slow.
Really?
It takes the time.
Really?
It's not a race. You got to go slow. Go at your own pace.
Is that sexual?
No, it's saying that wood, if you're going to be a strong person, have strong character, sometimes it takes time.
Oh, like a tree.
Oh, come on, man. The stun heard round the world. Now there was
this shit with these riddles, Jewel riddles.
I love Jewel.
I love Jewel too. Not like you love Jewel, but I'm not.
There was a Raw, September of '97. Man, that was a great show. It was live from Madison Square Garden. It was the first time that Steve Austin ever stunned Vince McMahon. It was the debut of the WWF Cactus Jack, and I was a big Cactus Jack fan. That was quite a show.
Where was it at?
Madison Square Garden in September of '97.
I was trying not to barf. Oh yeah, Madison Square Garden. Yeah, I remember that in New York. I've always wanted to go to the Garden. I was planning to go to a Knicks game this past year, but it didn't work out. I don't know if I want to say it was COVID related, but I don't think it was. I just didn't know.
Did you have the tickets?
Or did I buy the tickets and just forget about them?
You and I were in Los Angeles one time, and we had tickets to a Clippers game. We had an industry meeting with some. As you can tell by this production, Ryan and I are the talk of Hollywood. And we were in Los Angeles, and we had some tickets to a Clippers game.
I'm doing my best.
And we were at the Staples Center, and Ryan said, "No, I don't want to go."
I had lost a lot of money gambling the night
Again,
before. Ironically,
yeah.
It's not like this is every day. It was ironically.
Who would have thought? As a child, Bret the Hitman Hart once broke the record for selling programs at the Calgary Stampede Fairgrounds. He sold more than 1,000 in one day.
That's hustling.
Really
That's
is.
hustling programs.
Sure is.
You know what's funny? You've never sat here on this program and read an entire article. Do you think that probably that's not what people are interested in?
Unless we want to have a 3 or 4 hour show, I don't really think that's going to be possible. If someone's interested, if someone wants us to do a 3 or 4 hour show where we read every single word of every article, we'll do it. It might be fun for.
I just thought it was funny that you never read any articles.
Listen, if there's enough interest, we'll do a 3 or 4 hour episode. But I can't imagine there would be a lot of interest in that.
Give us some feedback on that.
Where we read everything about the karate fighters, we can do that if there's enough interest.
Maybe we don't read everything. Do we have it in the budget, to enhance articles from the magazine and make them closer up so people can see them well on the show? I've never actually watched this show, but
you can zoom in if you want on your own.
You can?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't
it's
know.
Technology. But it's the 90s.
Say this was Sports Center. And we circle something and then you bring it a lot. You bring it to the forefront of the camera. Say you have us, but then you put something to the front of the camera. Is that possible?
If we get more subscribers, anything's possible.
You heard it. Tell your friends.
But we haven't been invited back to LA since that night. We didn't use those Clippers tickets.
Man, that's why I should get a shirt that says "Tell your friends." Instead, I'm promoting Vitor Belfort. I don't know why. I do more promoting for other people than I do for myself.
Interesting. Well, here's the Patriot, Del Wilkes. What a strange 1997. He was only around, the Patriot was only around for what, like 3 months maybe?
Had
a title shot.
Does everybody's face have a bunch of little holes in it? Like
Well,
if
it
you take
looks
a
like-
picture
it
really close up, does
well, those-
everybody's face look like
Well,
that?
Those are pores. Some people's pores are bigger than others.
So other
and this
people
is
have
and this
big
is
pores.
beard. It looks like he isn't shaved that day, and he's got a little stubble. It's a combination of the pores and the stubble.
I would say he has unusually large pores.
I would agree with that.
Fair enough. I was just curious. I think if you took my picture up close, I would have these gigantic. Zoom in. Apparently, you can zoom in.
Yeah, it's the 90s.
Zoom in on me. Zoom in on zoom. Get that zoom going.
This episode's really
I don't
out
feel
of
well.
control.
I don't feel well. I'm doing my best.
But why was the Patriot? I was always kind of interested in that. The Patriot had a run at this time for like 3 months. Had a world title shot at a pay-per-view, and then was just gone. I never saw him again.
It is odd.
A title shot.
I know it.
Yeah.
The last time I saw him, the show ended with Michael Hayes saying, "We're going to see the Patriot again real soon," and the Patriot never came
You're
back.
still waiting.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great picture. That's a really nice picture.
This was kind of the beginning of what would become D-Generation X. If you remember this night, the three of them are kind of walking up the ramp in England. This was the one night only, and they're calling themselves the Triple Threat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, D-Generation X wasn't even a thing yet.
Wow.
Yeah.
They had, now if I remember that match right, that crowd, you can see the trash in the ring. That crowd was rowdy.
The Bulldog was over in England, definitely. If nowhere else, definitely England.
He was over nowhere else. But in England he was.
Maybe Canada?
And
He was in the Heart Foundation.
yeah, maybe Canada. They don't know any better.
Hit the music. A look at the simply ravishing career of Rick Rude. Again, timing not so great because he's not in the company when this hits newsstands. But
This is great.
Yeah.
Check him out on the other program. I don't know why they have this in here. He didn't look anything like this anymore.
Good physique, but he was always so thin. Look how small his waist is.
What's wrong with that?
He's very skinny.
But why do you need to have a big waist?
You don't have to do anything.
Well, you always got upset about a lean build.
He's got a great physique, and he's apparently a real tough guy and liked to fight, but he was real thin.
Do you ever do this in the mirror? In the mirror in the bathroom?
If I did, it wouldn't look anything like that. Is that what you do?
Oh yeah.
And what do you say? I'm simply ravishing. Abs all in a row.
I don't say anything. I just admire it.
Are you clothed from the waist down?
No.
Now, are you saying anything? Is music playing?
I'm just looking at it.
And what are you finding when you're
Sometimes
looking
there's
at
music playing. Sometimes there is music
it?
playing.
And what's playing? Rick Rude's theme song?
I'm not going to do it today. I don't think I'm in the mood today. But I'll probably do it sometime soon. I feel like sometimes when you have a bad gambling loss, it's like it takes your manhood.
Well, you're a little narcissistic. You've admitted that in the past.
That's true.
You like yourself.
I do.
You love you some you.
I do. Even today. Of all days.
And that's usually a symbol of a lot of insecurities. When you have a great...
Well, you can't win in this world. If you love yourself, then people say you're insecure.
If you're admiring yourself in the mirror, I think you have a narcissism problem. And if you do, that's probably a sign of a deep-seated insecurity.
Well, I can tell you because I'm a person that as I get older, I'm deeper and deeper in awareness of what I am. And there's definitely areas of my life that I'm very secure, and there's areas of my life where I'm very insecure.
I think that's most people.
And I was going to say, I think
Yeah,
that's most people.
I think
But
so.
I'm very aware of my insecurities and facing them and trying to do better.
When I see somebody, if you're talking to somebody and you say something like, "Hey, I'm doing this, I'm doing this," and then they respond with, "Oh, I did this and this," that always to me is like someone's trying to overcompensate. Mm-hmm. And I know a couple people who are doing that all the time.
It's not me, is it?
No, not that I've noticed really.
Good.
No.
I do it sometimes. I'm
think
trying to have a
everybody does it
conversation.
sometimes. But if someone says,
I know what you mean.
if someone says, "Hey, I'm going so and so," and someone else says, "Oh, I've been there," blah blah blah, and then they make it about themselves. You see, what I try to do in life. This episode's already off the rails, so who cares? What I try to do in life is, you want to, and I know you're involved in show business on some low level, but I do some music and I do some stuff, some acting and things. So it's difficult, but you want to eliminate your ego to the point where there's not a you anymore. Everything passes through you. So it's not about you.
I legitimately work on that every day.
Yeah, well, you got
Things about me.
You got some more work to do.
I do. I'll never make it.
Stop admiring yourself in the bathroom.
It's nice. It's fun sometimes.
Okay.
It makes me feel good.
Well, that's nice.
One night.
How does the gambling make you feel? How does the Mai Tai make you feel?
Can I tell? I know since the show's off the rails, can I tell you a funny story about me admiring myself in the bathroom one night? One night.
I already hear those downvotes coming in.
And this was years ago when me and the wife were drinking a lot.
It sounds like that was last night.
And but
No, the wife wasn't involved.
Yeah, and thank God the wife doesn't watch anything I do. So me and the wife, we were drinking a lot of the time, and we had this big argument. And I remember I made myself a cocktail, and I went to the bathroom, and I don't even know what I was doing in there. I might have just went in there to get naked and have drinks and pose in the mirror, listen to music. But I remember being in there and listening to music, and I had a drink in my hand, and I was literally like talking to myself in the mirror, and I was like doing this. I was doing like a pose or something like that. And then I looked, and the bathroom door was cracked, and she had picked the lock and was watching me do all this stuff. And I like lost it because I was so like ashamed of the things that I was doing in there that she saw me doing, and I like cussed her out real bad for breaking in the bathroom on me.
Your wife has some real boundary kind of things where she invades people's privacy. Just in times that I've known, and she's had some things where she kind of...
You don't have to sell me on it. I'm aware.
Yeah, okay.
I'm conditioned to it, as a matter of fact. But that was one of the instances where it really bothered me because I thought I was having a private moment to myself, and I like to do strange things in private. I don't know if any of you do strange things in private. I like to do some things that other people might say are odd. And I didn't want her to see that. I didn't want my wife to... When you're married for long enough, I've been married almost 20 years, your wife will see you in ways that you would hope that your lady friend would never ever see you, and it's happened to me too many times.
Has China become the odd man out?
Like a nightmare.
If Hunter invested in the Rude Premium, I think maybe they're questioning if.
That chick looks like a dude.
Well, this is before she had the surgery to make her a little more feminine. She posed for Playboy in what, 2000, 2001?
I would never look at it.
No, but I'm saying she...
Did it show her vagina?
Yeah.
Did it really? Did it look like a human one?
Well, she did a porno too,
I didn't watch that. I wouldn't watch
But
that.
my point is, if you look at this China and the China of 2000, 2001, she'd really had some work done and looked... She was in good shape. And I think she looked feminine and looked nice. But this is not here. She's not at this point yet.
I'm gonna be sick.
This is kind of weird here. It says the person you'd most like to meet, the writers of The Simpsons.
For China?
Yeah, but then it says her favorite television show is 60 Minutes. Isn't that kind of strange that the person she wants to meet is the writers of The Simpsons, and The Simpsons isn't even her favorite show?
That's very odd.
Yeah. I wonder what that's all about.
Wait a minute, I want to see a couple more.
Favorite video game, I hate video games. Not just none, or I hate video games.
If you look at China, that makes a lot of sense to me. Think about favorite food, chicken. Well, chicken's a big deal with like...
Favorite fast food, never.
Never. Favorite actor, Arnold Schwarzenegger. Video games, and this goes back to the video games thing, and China probably got this way before I did. Video games, also, I put hand in hand with something like smoking pot. Can be fun at times, but if they take up large amounts of your time, are like a huge waste of your life.
If anything takes up a huge part of your time, it can be a waste. You don't have to make things your life. You were playing that Fortnite game too much.
Too much.
But there are people who can play a video game in moderation and be okay. It doesn't have to become their life.
That's what did I just say?
But you go way overboard with this
But
stuff.
I'm not the only one.
But I'm saying, you in China are like, no, chicken, I hate video games, no more fast food. Instead of saying, I'll have fast food occasionally, I'll play video games occasionally.
I bet you more
You
people...
don't have to be so far on one side or the other.
so
But you
far
are like
on one
that,
side.
and China is like that, apparently.
More people in this world, I think, are more like that than they are like that.
But you don't have to live like that. It doesn't have to be all in one way or the other.
But I think it's in your personality.
Okay. I don't understand it.
He can't follow it.
But
I bet a lot of people
don't.
out there, if you see yourself constantly going home and looking at the screen and doing the same things, and maybe ignoring your wife and kids or hobbies,
If that's anything,
or your work,
it doesn't have to be video games. It's anything.
No, that's anything. That's what I'm saying.
If you're
but
walking your dog for 6 hours a day, that could be a waste of your time.
I've noticed in this world, in this society, that it could be anything, but I'm going to say smoking pot and video games are a big distraction from success in your life. In this society, in this world, for a lot of people.
There are people who probably smoke pot too much and play video games too much.
A lot of people.
And then there are people who probably play a video game occasionally and have a joint occasionally, and they're functional and they're fine.
And I
with
love it. And I think that's a lot of fun if you can do that. I think there's a lot of people that don't.
But you go one way or another. I mean, you're
personally,
either I hate video games or I'm playing video games every...
I can't smoke pot once a week and play video games twice a month. If I get on a video game, it's just like I'm on the video game.
Well,
if I'm smoking pot, we're smoking pot all day, babe.
Well, that's a character flaw. That's more of that. That's you.
Well, it's not a character flaw. It's my character.
It's a flaw if you can't enjoy something in moderation.
Yeah, that's fair. It probably is.
The 1997 holiday... This episode is really one for the record books.
I'm starting to feel better.
What are those games?
You got me all wound up. I'm starting to feel.
Maybe
it's these bisexual drinks you've got me drinking.
What are the what's the advertisements? The award shows, the Webbies, where someone nominates something for excellence in web broadcasting.
Are we accepting one?
This might be the one that people should nominate because this has just been a masterpiece.
Put it out. Put it up. Put it in.
I was excited about December of '97, and we haven't really scratched the surface here. But
well, it's been nothing but the Patriot and Rick Rude, and he's in WCW. I mean, like, what are you talking about?
Well, we haven't gotten to Steve Austin yet. He's got Owen Hart on his wall. We haven't gotten there.
Okay, there's
Now
more to
look
come,
at
folks.
this: 2 pages for Steve Austin.
So, in the past, we've talked about certain wrestling magazines having catalogs in them and them promoting their top guy.
We did one recently. I think it was the last one we did. We had Ultimate Warrior first, Hogan second.
There
and it
you
was
go.
kind of like you're subconsciously saying Warrior's our top guy, but Hogan's right here.
Look at Austin.
There's no question.
It's the whole damn catalog.
Yeah, you had this vest, didn't you? The Austin 316 vest.
You're not going to believe this. I still have that vest.
I'd love to see you wear it on one of our programs. Is that possible?
I will make that happen if I still have it.
Instead of a Vitor Belfort
Because last time I
shirt.
checked, I still had it. But who knows?
That might make more sense than the Vitor Belfort shirt. But wasn't Vitor Belfort on Impact Wrestling or AEW something not too long ago?
Vitor was on AEW not long ago.
So
it makes sense.
Maybe it ties in.
Sometimes my wife takes my clothes to Goodwill without me asking me. So that might be gone. But it should, last time I checked, it was still around.
Maybe you can have a conversation with her about that. Maybe she needs to be corrected.
She's got some kind of character flaw. I just learned that.
If I taught you a new term that you love now, character flaw.
I get to use that. I get to use that on the wife now. Character flaw. Steve laid a good one.
That's what I'm here for. I had the Dude Love shirt, and I sold it for $70 during a time that I needed some cash. Yeah, I thought that was kind of neat.
That's a good payday.
Yeah. What do you think of the shirt that just says Shamrock on the front? They didn't put a lot of time into that.
They said we got to get shirts out. We got to get them out now.
It just said Shamrock in red letters.
You had this shirt?
I did. I bought that at a live Raw. I wanted to have a shirt at the live show, and I think Ryan might have got Stone Cold University's not out yet. That's more like middle '98 maybe.
I had a lot of Steve Austin shirts.
We went to a live Raw, and you bought I think a Stone Cold University, and I got the Sable shirt.
And then look at that Sunny shirt.
Slippery When Wet. That's like the Bon Jovi album. They had a Slippery When Wet album.
She's pretty hot.
Yeah, sure. Sable too. Sable, Marlena, and Sunny all have pillows.
Let me see. I can't see good. Oh, I see it. It's Sunny up there. Yeah, I can see it better.
Yeah.
Nice.
And also, too, Brian Pillman's dead by this time.
For me, oh, is that right?
October of '97.
So those shirts are probably on sale. Maybe if he called 911.
2 pages of Undertaker.
Did you get my joke?
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Well, that was a takeoff of that shirt he was wearing when Steve Austin broke into his house.
That's
Remember, because he had the gun?
maybe if he called 911.
Well, he died in his sleep, so I don't know how he would have called.
How do you know
911.
that?
That's what the autopsy report said.
You read the autopsy report?
Of course. I'm a historian. You called me a historian.
That sounds like a real character flaw.
2 pages of The Undertaker.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know what that shows me? They didn't want to do a page of the Patriot.
Maybe they knew he was going to be out the door soon.
I think they had a feeling. Said something's wrong with this guy's pores.
Does that make a real character flaw for the Patriot?
I'm feeling better. I'm glad you got me up to do this.
Hey, Shawn Michaels has a page.
It's crazy hot in here, though. Man, is that the Hangover? Is this the new Hangover movie? Is this how it starts?
A full page for Shawn Michaels.
I think that's fair. Don't be surprised by that. I don't think that's a great Shawn Michaels shirt.
Which one?
That one right that right there. And
Well, that's the
front.
tattoo he has on his arm.
Yeah, but I don't think it's a great shirt of his. I don't put that as a great shirt.
Well, Bret Hart's had the Montreal Screwjob happen. Not at press time, probably.
That's a good price for a denim jacket, $50. A lot of their denim jackets are a lot more expensive than that.
Here, this was the... Do you remember on Raw, Jim Ross was wearing this denim jacket for years on Raw?
Yeah, that's a great one. That's $100.
Huh, that's weird. Maybe they knew Shawn Michaels was going to have a back problem coming up.
Do you know when I checked out? This is totally unrelated, but
Of course it is.
It's not totally unrelated. It's a little bit unrelated.
Well, of course it is.
The Washington Nationals won the World Championship.
Yeah, I remember. That was last year.
Last year, and
You're just finding that out now?
They came out with their
How long were you asleep?
They came out with their championship ring. Well, I looked on the team store because they said they had like replica championship rings for sale. They've made 108 championship rings that are as close as they're ever going to make as to the real ones that the players got. They're $15,000.
Is that something you'd like to buy?
Well, hear me out on this. Initially, I thought, wow, that's really cool, and it is really cool. But should you really be wearing a championship ring if you weren't a part of the championship team? That I would feel funny about. Also, I'm not in the position to drop $15,000 on a Nationals championship ring. But
You drop that at the casino, no problems. Might as well have something tangible at the end of the night you can hold in your hand.
don't talk numbers. This is film. This is film. This is going out
I think
there.
this is video. I don't think this is film.
This is film. It's not film?
Sonny's birthday is the same as mine, December 7th.
I thought it was in my contract that I was only to be filmed in 8mm.
Do you see this? Sonny and I have the same birthday, December 7th.
Really? Where's July?
Well, this this is the end of the year, so they're not going to have July in here.
Oh, okay.
You know who has your birthday?
Who's that?
July 31st.
Yeah.
BJ Novak from The Office.
The tall one?
Ryan Howard from The Office.
Oh, the black guy.
No, he plays the temp. Ryan Howard. BJ Novak is his
Oh,
name.
oh, the temp. I got you. Just say temp. Why did you say temp? I don't understand.
Instead of the character's name and his real name.
I couldn't remember. Ryan Howard sounds like a black guy's name.
You know who else has your birthday?
Oh, it is a black guy. He played for the Phillies. He was a first baseman. That's why I thought it was a black guy.
Oh, man, this is really a mess. You know who else has your birthday? I think Wesley Snipes does.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
What's your favorite Wesley Snipes movie?
Tom Waits has my birthday, too, December 7th. And Rick Rude and Larry Bird.
You're in good company.
Yeah, sure am.
Favorite Wesley Snipes movie?
Maybe one of those, that one that Triple H was in. That Blade movie that Triple H was in.
Are you serious?
Yeah, what was that called?
Blade?
No, it was like the third one, and Triple H was a vampire.
Oh, Blade. He wasn't in that one, was
Yeah, he was.
Oh, I thought they had a new Blade by then.
No.
Blade Trinity?
Do you remember Degeneration X? Do you like the name Degeneration X for a pay-per-view?
I really do. I like it.
It's kind of silly, though. That's the name of a group. Why is that also the name of a pay-per-view?
I think it's fun to have like one pay-per-view just name something off the wall like that. Like it was their time, so this is their pay-per-view.
Well, what do you think of this? Steve Austin. What I did on my blank summer vacation.
My bitch summer fame.
Now look at this. He's got a picture of Gorilla Monsoon that he's hit with a bow and arrow, and Jim Ross and Vince McMahon.
Gorilla Monsoon was the commissioner at the time.
I don't think so.
Well, then why would he hit him with the thing? He was up, yeah, because he got a big bunch of bananas for him.
That was earlier than this.
He was upset because he got dropped on his head, and he's got a big bunch of bananas
That
for him.
was like that was like late '96.
He was still Gorilla Monsoon until Sergeant Slaughter took over when DX came around. At that SummerSlam, it was still Gorilla Monsoon.
But that was by this time. This is December of '97.
But he was upset with Gorilla Monsoon because when he got hurt, Gorilla Monsoon was in charge. It wouldn't make sense for him to be upset with Sergeant Slaughter because he was in charge a year later.
I remember that pose that you did in front of that truck you had for a week. You had a pose like that.
Did I do it because of that?
That truck you couldn't afford and went bankrupt over. A heart with a
What
heart.
is it with you talking my finances on this program?
Why Owen Hart showed mercy and may never do it again. You know, Steve Austin got dropped on his head in that match, and then Owen Hart.
You say it just like you are Steve Austin. Yeah, I got dropped on my head. You both always call it dropped on my head.
What would you call it?
I don't know. Tombstoned? He got tombstoned? Not dropped on my head.
But
Hell, son.
to say
you always started off with hell. Did you say hell, son?
To say you got tombstoned makes it sound like there's no injury. If someone gets dropped on their head, it sounds like there's an injury. How many people have been tombstoned by the Undertaker and not had an injury from it?
I got dropped on my head, son. I'm too sick for this. I have an idea. I have a fun idea. Can you go back to the cards? Why are you skipping ahead so fast?
You're in a bad spot, and I'm trying to wrap this up.
No, I'm having a good time.
Okay.
Ugh. Oh, wait, hold on. All right, I'm back. I have a fun idea.
Okay.
Okay, what about if we have an email contest or somewhere that the fans can get in touch with you, and they'll
Why
send.
can't they get in touch with you?
They'll send in a funny comment about one of these cards, and if whichever one you like the best, you'll send them a card. You'll send them the card from this magazine, and signed. You'll sign it,
You won't sign it?
and I'll sign it. We'll sign it for you.
Okay.
You send it in. Where can they send it in?
SnowflakeSandwiches@gmail.com.
There you go.
And what do they have to send in?
Send it. Look at the pictures. All right. Now send in something funny about one of these pictures, and if we like it, we'll sign the card, and we'll send you the card.
What does that mean? Something funny.
Send your address so we can send you the card.
What does that mean, though?
Like just like
What would
this one
they
says,
say about Brian Lee here?
Hey, they don't have to use Brian Lee. They could say something
give me an
about
example of
Ahmed
something-
Johnson.
okay.
They could say something about D'Lo Brown.
Something funny. Give me an example of something funny they'd say.
Oh, okay. Like
Like if this picture here of the Bariquas on the motorcycle, what would they say?
like the Bariquas?
Yeah.
Oh, let's see here. They would say probably, going to Burger King to get a Whopper.
What does that have to do with anything?
That's pretty funny because it looks like that's where they're headed. They're going somewhere on that motorcycle. Why not go to Burger King and get a Whopper?
It doesn't. There's no joke to that, though. Boy, whenever Ryan comes up with an idea, I know I'm really in for something great.
I had a real funny one about the nation, but I think I was gonna get in a lot of trouble for it.
Do you remember Bushido Blade on the PlayStation?
It's amazing that I'm only allowed to be on the camera here. I think.
Do you remember Bushido Blade on the PlayStation?
I don't. How was it?
How about Ground Zero? Do you remember Ground Zero?
I don't.
So glad to have you in the booth for that nuanced insight.
I don't remember it. I answered the question.
You remember Ground Zero?
I'm not asleep right now.
You remember Ground Zero in your house was a pay-per-view event that took place in '97.
If somebody doesn't get me a different chair than this one, nobody wiped it down. No one's ever wiping these chairs down.
You know what's interesting about this pay-per-view is this is the first In Your House that's 3 hours. Up to this point, all the In Your Houses have been 2 hours. And this was, I'm sure, in response to WCW's pay-per-views.
I like a nice 2-hour show if you can keep the price down.
Well, even Raw is 3 hours now, so.
Well, they're greedy now.
But how can you expect to have a Raw that's 3 hours and then another 3-hour Raw that you're supposed to pay for?
Right. I don't know. I don't understand any of it. I don't know what they're greedy.
Do you like laser tag with the headbangers?
Laser tag. I've always thought that laser tag was something that was never done quite right yet. Mm-hmm. I still think that's fun, but it could be more fun.
Did you hear that thing earlier this year? There was some kind of story about some kind of veteran group got together and wanted Sergeant Slaughter to like make a statement of apologizing because he wasn't really in the military. And that he was saying that there was some kind of story about how this veterans group got together and said that they were upset that he was pretending to be in the military and he wasn't really in the military.
I think they should be dishonorably discharged for saying such a stupid thing. I don't think they should be. I don't think they're smart enough to be in our military.
I always thought
I'd go send them on a suicide mission.
I always thought it was a storyline that he was in the military.
Yeah, I don't think they can follow it. I think they ought to find something better to do.
At that point, you might as well get mad that the Undertaker's not full of embalming fluid.
I was gonna say I want him buried immediately.
How dare you let that dead man on your television show?
Jeez, Lou. Retirement must be pure hell.
Ahmed Johnson chills at Camp Cool with LL Cool J. I don't know if I'd listen to any life advice from Ahmed Johnson, but
I thought you were gonna say LL Cool J.
well, maybe him too.
LL Cool J's made it pretty good though. He's
Yeah.
made a nice little living for himself. Him and Chris O'Donnell on that sitcom.
Oh, we love this. This is one of everyone's favorite
It's not a
segments.
sitcom. I don't know.
Pin them down, where I read a question and Ryan has to answer it. And I'm excited about this too because one of these is a British accent, and Ryan's British accent is so famous. People just have to say. People can name a street in England, and Ryan can do the dialect. It doesn't even have to be. It's that dialed in. Dear Sonny, will you ever manage again in the World Wrestling Federation?
Well, I'm gonna do whatever it takes to make my money and earn my bread.
And what is that?
My tits.
Hey, Stone Cold Steve Austin, are you happy with the support the fans have given you?
Well, hell, son, I come out here week in, week out, ready to open up a can of whoop-ass. That ain't got nothing to do with anybody out here in this stinking crowd.
That's good. And, hey, Hunter Hearst Helmsley, you're the 1997 King of the Ring. Why haven't you gotten a shot at the world title yet?
Well, I think that it's going to be... That's a real stupid question, punk, because everybody knows that it's going to be my time now.
That's it.
Starting now. Slap that goofy mustache off your face.
I'm not sure about that impression. But.
Starting now.
Hey, British Bulldog, I'm from England, and I was wondering if you ever miss being back in the UK.
Oh, well, I love coming over there to be in where I'm from in the UK.
That's one of the worst British accents I've ever heard.
I love coming over there to be in the
That's
UK.
the South. You're doing like a Georgia, Alabama accent.
Well, I love the
Manchester.
I'm going to be in the UK. I'm going to have a lot of great matches over in the UK.
I don't know what that is. That's what I've never heard that.
Hold on a minute. You put me on the spot here. I haven't done my... I'm not feeling well. I usually do better than this. Hold on a
I knew
second.
there had to be a reason.
Well, just go ahead then.
That's it. That's the end of the magazine.
That was it? That's how we got to close it, with me doing a British Bulldog impression? You woke me up for this.
Just say, you have to throw in things like
help me,
across
help
the
me.
pond. If you start off with a governor.
Governor!
Hey, governor.
It really pisses me off. I don't know what their whole voice. I hate listening to it. You know who I hate? I hate listening.
Is this a Jeff Foxworthy?
I'm gonna pitch a new show for you to start out. It's just do you know who I hate? It's just a whole show for it. I really hate listening to Michael Bisping do commentary. I think he has a lot of interesting things to say, but by Fight 2, I get really tired of hearing his voice.
It's on the UFC show.
Yeah, it's a different thing. But if anybody that knows that, I really just don't like that accent.
You don't like his particular accent, or just the British accent doing commentary?
I don't. Well, there's so many different versions of the British accent. I find some more offensive than others. Mostly, I don't like it. But his, I really can't stand.
Interesting. Well, there's probably people in the UK that don't like the American accent.
I mean, without a doubt. And whenever I travel up north, people ask me about my accent, and when they do, they have like a disgusted look on their face. So people often hate my voice.
Well, this has been an interesting one from December of 1997.
That's Owen Hart's reaction to my British Bulldog impression.
I can't believe it. So,
Bless you.
thanks.
Just end it like that. That's a good end.
I wanted your final word on December of 97.
December of 97. Good to see Owen still hanging around. I'd like less Patriot. I'm digging the Steve Austin. And it's a good show. It's a damn good show. It's a good magazine too.
And I think you need to go back to bed.